Hello students, so this class is on e-commerce and e-business and getting to know the various processes that enhance e-business. So electronic commerce, also termed as e-commerce, is a process of buying and selling of products. So we already studied that. These electronic systems can either be the internet or other computer networks. The World Wide Web (WWW) plays a major role in the implementation of e-commerce in most of the organizations. E-commerce generally meets the needs of an organization, retailer, and consumer to reduce the cost. Right. So this line is very important. Whenever we try to implement e-commerce, a focus is always on reduction of cost. It may be for transactions, it may be for installations, right? It may be for any kind of communication. So there must be reduction of cost, not only for the organization but also the related retailers and the attracted consumers. It also considers the quality of service and delivery of goods. Okay, so it also concentrates on the improvisation of the service and also the particular delivery of supplies, right? So it basically says that the cost should be minimum when we implement e-commerce, as well as there should be a good quality of service and there should be a proper delivery process, so that whatever the consumer is willing to buy must be able to attain it in a feasible amount of time, right? And this will also enhance the quality of service. But we can broadly discuss about quality of service. It can be about the interaction with the clients or the consumers, delivery as it is already mentioned, right? It may be about resolving issues, then clearing doubts and queries, etc. Now, let's go to the next paragraph. Now, some use the terms e-commerce and e-business in an interchangeable manner. So it is often seen that sometimes e-business is replaced by e-commerce or e-commerce is replaced by e-business. But these terms refer to different concepts. But it must be well understood that these are two different topics or two different concepts. The concept where ICT is used in buying and selling of goods or services between organizations and in B2C transactions is known as e-commerce. We already know that. On the other hand, the concept where ICT is used to enhance the business processes. So this is a very important term. Enhance the business processes, or rather the key business processes through the facilities available on the internet is known as e-business. So that means there must be certain processes running in a business environment, right? In order to have a smooth functioning of these processes, whenever we use ICT, we are basically approaching e-business. It comprises of any process by which an organization conducts business over a computer network, right? It can comprise of any process that is done with the help of WWW. Now, the next topic is basically about the processes of an organization, right? Which deals with e-business. So in the next slide, we are going to have a clear view of what are these processes that are used in e-business. So the three main processes that we have are production processes, then customer focused processes, and internal management processes. So the first one, production processes, involves procurement, then ordering and replenishment of stocks, then processing of payments, then electronic links with suppliers, and production control processes. So you can see that all these factors involve the production, right? Procurement, that is attaining the raw materials. Then we have ordering of stocks. Now if there is if a stock is empty, then we again have to refill it, right? Then processing the payments, right, of various things bought. Then electronic links with suppliers. Now whoever is going to supply, we need to have a particular channel. Then production control processes, right? Like we have to see how should we maintain the production? Should we increase it or decrease it based on the demand, right? So all these factors influence the production, and so this as a whole falls under one process. Then we have customer focused processes. It involves promotion and marketing efforts, then selling over the internet, then processing of customers purchase orders and payments, and customer support. So all these factors are concentrated on the customer. So the first one is promotional and marketing efforts. So how should we promote our products so that it reaches the target audience, target customers? Then how will we sell over the internet? So we have to have a particular portal, we have to have a particular platform where they can buy it, and accordingly we can sell it. Then processing of customers purchase orders and payments. So once someone buys a product, then the related purchase orders and payments has to be done. I think we are all aware of that. Whenever we go to Amazon, right, or we go to Flipkart, we want to buy something, a lot of steps are involved. Now the payment process happens in a very short time, but if we go for cash on delivery, then the process get extended, right? The delivery has to reach you, then you can pay the amount, right? And then we have customer support. Now if you have any problems, any issues, then we always communicate with the customer care, right? So all these factors are concentrated on the customer, and this enhances the e-business, right? Then the last one is internal management system. So in case of internal management system, actually about the communication that happens within the organization, like employee services, then employee training, then internal information sharing, video conference, recruitment, etc. So here you can see that these interactions can happen through the internet itself, right? Right, like providing the services, then doing a proper training, right? We may be sitting in one place, and the training may happen online. Then the particular employees can get the required training, right? There can be some information sharing within the particular intranet of their organization. Then there can be video conferencing. Then recruitment process can also be done through electronic medium. So here the concentration is on the employees of the organization rather than the outside people, right? So what we studied was, number one was the production processes, number two is all about the customers, and number three is all about the internal management, that is about the people working in the organization. Okay, so once we know that, let's go to the next topic, which is the factors that fuel e-commerce. So there are three major factors that influence e-commerce. So economic factors, then market and customer interaction factors, and the last one is technology factors. So in case of the first one, economic factors, economic efficiency is one of the most apparent benefits of e-commerce. This is totally true. It can be achieved by decreasing communication cost, faster and more economic electronic transactions with suppliers, lower global information sharing and advertising cost, and cheaper customer service alternatives. So all these things can be done through the wire. Now it is definitely going to save a lot of money, right? For instance, if we take electronic transaction with suppliers, then we don't need to reach the suppliers in order to pay amounts, right? We can simply have a well-defined supply chain management, and with the help of the supply chain management, all the transactions can be made, right? And it also becomes very transparent, because if a supplier is providing you raw materials and if it happens through a particular proper channel, then everyone can keep an eye on it. Now here I would like to mention about blockchain. A lot of projects are being done now where supply chain is maintained with the help of blockchain, so that people cannot tamper with the information, so that the genuine product is attained by the receiver. Okay, then lower global information sharing and advertising cost. That is definitely true. You don't need banners and various other advertising sources. You can simply make online advertisements and broadcast them. And cheaper customer service alternatives, right? I think this is very straightforward. Then economic integration can be either internal or external. So what is internal integration and what is external integration? So let's come to the first one. It pertains to the electronic communication between various departments and the networking of business operations and processes within an organization, and that's why the term internal, right? So whatever communication happens within the various parts of the organization is going to be internal integration. Okay, it helps to store critical business information in digital form that can be recovered immediately and transmitted electronically. So whatever communication is done, whatever transaction is done, right, whatever exchange of information is done is all going to be recorded digitally. So whenever we require, we can retrieve it and do some auditing. A corporate intranet is the best example of internal integration. So many companies have their own intranet within which they communicate, right? So second one is external integration. It is the electronic communication between corporations, suppliers, customers or clients, and contractors in a virtual networking environment with the internet as medium. I think this is well enough, right? All the stakeholders or all the participants in the business who are outside the organization, they can also communicate with the help of electronic medium, and this falls under external integration. So we try to combine these external people or external entities, okay, and we try to combine them with the help of e-commerce, right? So it falls under external integration. Okay, so remember there are two integrations, internal and external. Then the next factor is market and customer interaction factors. Organizations are encouraged to use e-commerce in product promotion and marketing to capture international market. I think this is well understood, right? All the promotion works, all the advertisements can be done through the net itself. Similarly, the internet is used as a medium for improving customer service and support. So all these things are related to the customers, or rather the receiving end, right? So it falls under market and customers interaction factors. The internet also helps companies to provide their target customers with more detailed product and service information. Okay, so it helps the consumers to know the product more, right? They can have a detailed information about their products. They can do inspection, they can do comparison from the internet itself rather than going to the shop, right? Or rather than going to the place where the product is kept. Okay, so, and it is also going to reduce a lot of cost. Now the last one is technology factors. The key factor in the growth of e-commerce is the development of ICT. We already studied that. Technology has played a very important role in digitizing contents, compression and promotion of open systems for the convergence of communication services into one single platform, right? So whenever we talk about e-commerce, we talk about technology. So we talk about converting all the contents to digital format, then doing compressions, right? Then doing promotion. So all these factors come into a single, they can be combined in and kept in a single platform. From the perspective of organizations, having only one information provider implies lower communication costs. So this also helps to reduce the cost. Okay. Now in addition, technology convergence has helped to achieve the principles of universal access. This is completely true. At present, the cost involved in installing telephone landlines in rural area has a negative impact on the telecommunication companies. A lot of expenses has to be kept, or a lot of expenses has to be done in order to install these telephone landlines. Revenues from installing landlines can be more attractive if the landlines include cable TVs and the internet charges instead of limiting to local and long distance telephone charges, right? So instead of concentrating only on the telephones, landline telephone lines, if this internet and cable TV, if these technologies are integrated, it becomes more attractive because the suppliers are going to get more revenues out of it. This implementation will help the government in minimizing the cost of installing expensive landlines and providing access to information at a low cost to those in rural areas, right? So e-commerce is going to promote this. That is the main concept of this paragraph. So the main information that we come to know from this is with e-commerce, these technologies will also be uplifted. Okay, people are going to accept these technologies in order to take the benefit from the e-commerce, and the companies will also feel more attracted to expand their reach, right? So technology factor is also a key factor in fueling e-commerce. So these are the 3 points that are discussed. Please remember them. Economic factors, which have 2 dimensions. Then we have market and customer interaction factors, and lastly we have technology factors. Okay.